Salute to my soldiers and soldierettes. Thank you for joining in another EBX discussion. And let's get to the honors. I honor thy ancestors. I honor thy parents. I honor your parents and my parents. I honor thy father, thy mother. I honor my dad. May he rest in peace and in power. And I honor my mom, but she's still alive and vibrant. And may any of you that have had parents or anyone near you or that was dear to you in your life, may they rest in peace and in power. Always appreciate those before us, especially if they brought value. And always appreciate those that are living too. And I know you're doing great. I gotta say that. If you're alive and breathing, you're doing great. There shouldn't be no complaints because a lot of us didn't wake up last night and night before that, and so on and so forth. And I want to talk about my son and the youth period. And I'm proud of my son, and I salute King Arron. And as you all know, I got 5 children, and I've talked about them in past podcasts and past videos. And salute. I'm gonna do both hands. Salute to the parents that stand strong, and to the youth that's finding themselves and striving to be a better version of themselves. And to the young youth that is struggling out there, don't give up. A lot of us adults, brothers and sisters, we have been there, and we have been through the toughest, roughest times, and we made it out without a bruise, and you can too. And you can't give up the fight. You can't get to the light if you give up the fight. You can't get to the top if you're worried about the bottom, and that's real talk. And I've learned this from experiences through other brothers and sisters I have come in contact with via teachers, speakers, online, offline, just throughout life. And I want to tell my son and all my children. I have 2 daughters, 3 sons. And this is for all my children. But and I haven't, like I said, haven't had the best connections with all my children, and I take accountability for that. And that's something I wanna tell my son. But before I start, for all us great brothers and sisters out there that have youth and raising them up, cherish the small victories that they have and the big victories. And let's praise them as much as we can and keep them encouraged. And this is for my son, King Arron. And I'm going to go into how he and I came to the point and the place that we're at. Now, as I always say, when we're young, and not all of us, but I'm just speaking on my experiences and things I went through. And some brothers and sisters may be able to relate, because I am big on not putting our own ideologies onto each other. So just ride with me. And if you related, cool. And if not, you can still kind of, you can say, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I didn't see my son. He was 2 years old when we disconnected. And I take accountability for that. I'm not going to blame his mom and other things, because I had choices. We all have choices. So what choices are we making? And everybody has choices, so make the right one. And even when it's tough, this is for my son. Even sometimes making the right choice isn't always easy, but it's always best. It will benefit you in the future and in the present. What you do in the present, benefit you. You already know what I'm going to say. What you do righteous in the present will always benefit you in the what. I'm not even going to finish. And most people who listen to me and listen to my podcast, you can fill in that blank. And for my son, King Arron, salute. I love you, and as well as all my children. And as far as I know, my daughters are doing great. Elijah's doing great. Ethan's doing great. And I'm in Ethan's life, and I'm in Aaron's life also now, even though he's an adult. Aaron and Ethan lives here in Milltown. They don't live with me. Ethan lives with his mom, and congratulations to my son that he got him a place now. He's got him some stability. And it took him a while to find himself, and I hold myself accountable. I'm a part of that, because me not being in his life is a part of why he made some of the choices that he made and why he went through some of the things he went through. I hold myself accountable for that. So with that being said, we recently reconnected about 2 years ago, give or take 2 years. These time go so fast. And we tried to rebuild, but when you haven't had a father or a mother that hasn't been in, whether it's a daughter or a son, and the father hasn't been in there, if the mother's been there and the dad hasn't, and that's going to build up a little tension within the child. And then, it's going to, things that they're going to be fighting and dealing with are going to be inside of them. And eventually it's going to come out. And that's what happened. And, he moved up into the mill town with me, and, it was going great. But remember, things that we have pent up inside of us that we don't deal with, it will eventually come out. Like if we got hidden agendas or those secret thoughts we have about individuals, even if we're fake in front of them, if we have little fake things inside of us, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna come out. When are we gonna learn this? And that's why it's so important. You will hear me say this a lot, and this is still for my son, King Arron, King Ethan too. This is for him too, but I've done videos, on my other children and my son, but I want this to solely be for King Arron, because I want him to be, I want him to stay encouraged. So this is for him also, but this is also for a broad audience, anybody who's listening, because I'm for lifting the young. Y'all, what I always say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all about lifting the minds and the souls and the spirit of the young and the old. Remember that. So, like I was saying, when he moved in with me, when we reconnected, those things that were pent up came out. Now, when you study yourself, when you know yourself, when you hold yourself accountable for the mistakes that you have made, you have to let nature take its course. So that's what I did. So I anticipated, always knew that we would in the future reconnect, as I will with my daughters and my other son, because we can never close the chapter on things that are not finished, because we have to anticipate things that will come from the choices we made from that situation, so we can be ready when it comes. So with that being said, when I come across my daughters and I do communicate, because we will speak and we will talk, even though we haven't in a while, and I have to be ready for that, so I'm saying this because when he did move in and we did, have a little conflict, I was ready for that. So it wasn't that hard of a blow, and I wasn't that much surprised. So I had to let it, I had to let him vent. I had to let him get it out of him. And we kind of didn't talk for a little while, but I never lost contact. See, that's sometimes what we do. We get caught up in our ego and our emotions, and we forget what's important. And that's something I did not do. I did not forget what's important, as well as my other children. And I have tried to reach out to them, and but that's okay. I still love my daughters. I still love my sons, no matter what, because they didn't ask to be here, and it's not their fault. So he eventually, once he went through his ups and downs, because we all have consequences of our actions. So he had to go through a little bit of his karma, because, he sort of went about, what he was feeling the wrong way. But I knew things would be okay, because I knew where it was coming from. And I know he has my DNA. He has my spirit, which all my children do. So that's how I know he will be fine, in which right now I congratulate him. He's back on track. He's doing good. He's learned from the obstacles and the challenges that he went through, and sometimes is going through, and he's bettering himself. And that's what it's all about, my brothers and sisters. Getting better. Getting better and always looking to improve. And it's all, you can always better yourself, my sons, my kings and my queens, my soldiers and soldierettes. Salute, young or old. It's always room for improvement. You never stop learning. Always keep that pineal gland. See this right here? See this? You know why my indention is like that? Because I'm a thinker, and I can be a very intense brother, And this world will beat up on you a little bit, but After a while, you get wise and you strengthen up and you fight that world back. You beat it up back. You know, when the things come to you, whoop, whoop, you come right back at it. You stay strong in your spirituality. And this for anybody, especially my kids and my son. You stay strong, son. I don't care what comes before you. You stay strong, my daughters, my kings and queens out there. Let nothing stop your mission. You remember what you went through to get to where you're at. King Arron, you a king. You come from kings and queens. Your family is strong. My kids come from a family of workers, productive people. We do care about one another. Not no one's perfect. That's something we got to keep in our minds. No one is perfect. But if you have those times where you can be perfect and you can do the right thing and you don't and you choose not to and you let that negativity override when you override your good energy when you know better, then you have to be ready for the consequences, my brothers and sisters. And I see it online all the time. I see it in social media, and we as adults, we sometimes, not saying that youth is crazy out here. Don't get me wrong, but I'm here to say, and I'm one that will take accountability. Some of our youth is, let's be honest with ourselves. Some of it is the adults' fault, and I see it on. What one has learned to do, and what my Creator, the gift, has given all of us, brothers and sisters, young or old. You just gotta know this when you're in yourself. My son, King Arron, know your gifts. Utilize your gifts. Use your gifts. I don't care how small they are, son. Snowball them. Don't care what nobody say. Don't let little hatred, little small things people say discourage you or stop you. If somebody don't like what you're doing, you just use that power and you embrace it and you get stronger. And you be fearless. And I mean this, my son, King Arron, and to all the young youth out there. That doesn't stop you from being righteous. There's nothing wrong with being righteous. The Creator always protect the righteous. I guarantee it, because I'm living proof. I'm not 51 for nothing. And we have to, like I was saying, we have adults on here, on social media, and in the world, and in some situations, in some places, they act worse than the youth, and that's sad. If you pass 50, and nobody's perfect, we have conditions and health problems, and some of us have mental health, and I'm aware of all these things. But if you have all your scruples, you have all your mind, you are pretty much an intelligent individual. Stop having these little fake thoughts within inside of us and then doing something different. Because even though you apologize, say if you was fake to an individual, or any situation you were fake to, and because you have good individuals out here that does this, and I'm telling you, just be real at all times. We can possibly be, my soldiers and soldierettes. I know being real is becoming, we have to be true to ourselves. I know we hear that so much, but the reason we hear it so much, because some people don't take it serious. My sons and my daughters, take being real serious, even in your down times. Being real doesn't mean it's always going to be positive. You have to be real in the negative times too. And even when you do feel some kind of way, just be real and genuine with yourself. Because if you're not real and genuine with yourself, my son, King Arron, salute, you won't be real with others. And especially if you're in denial and you just exclude what you're doing and being fake inside, a real individual around you will sense it. They will know, like, hey, wait a minute, but you was acting like this one way, but behind my back, you're doing this. And this happens so much with our black people, especially with people in general, especially these days. And it happens in the black community more than not, but this is really an issue with everyone, especially online and in social media. And I had made a video called, and this is still for my son, this is still for him, this is just like me and him having, matter of fact, this is the kind of talks that me and my son have. And I made a a podcast here recently about changing the language with our youth. So this is that's actually what inspired me to do that podcast on talking about changing the language with our youth and being intellectuals with them. The inspiration came from the talks that me and my son have. And we have a lot of great talks off camera. And you will be seeing King Arron. I don't want y'all to forget that. His name is Arron. And I don't want y'all to forget my daughters, which is Andrea, Naya, and my son Elijah, and I got a son Ethan. And this video is for my son King Arron. Salute. And for all my children, but solely for Arron. And like I said, it's very important, the language that we share with our children. It will get into their subconscious, even when it seems like you can't let that thinking they're not listening discourage us. No, they do listen, especially when you care. But we have to be relentless. And I am relentless, whether it's video or you see me in person. I'm not perfect, but you're always going to get something positive, and you're always going to get something encouraging from me, because I have so many other brothers and sisters that encourage me and kept me lifted and kept me living. Literally, words are very powerful. So be careful what words you use and how you use them. And also be careful of the words that we have in our inner thoughts, our subconscious. If we have bad, even if it's suppressed and way down there, it's going to come out. Remember, my young brothers, my young sisters, my son, King Arron, the movie we make on the inside is what we'll view on the outside, even when we try to hide it from others, because those that have a high vibration will sense it in the way you talk, in the way you move, and how you act. So if you keep evil and malice things in your heart, and this is for anyone, but it's especially for my son, King Arron, the universe will draw it out, good or bad. So remember that. Be as great and be as right as you can possibly be, and continue prospering, my son, King Arron, and the soldiers and soldierettes that take the time to listen to another EBX discussion. Salute. I thank you to those that join in, and just take the time out of your day. And ladies and gentlemen, you will see my son and I on here in the future, and we'll be back to doing music. Matter of fact, I'll probably post some music that we have done in the past, and I have learned just as much from my son as he has learned from me. And Dad will apologize and sorry for the times that I wasn't in my children's lives, and the times I was stupid and selfish and wasn't thinking about the future back in them days. And karma is a mother hubba. So learn from karma. Don't let it make you miserable. I always say, and you will probably hear me say in the future a lot, we extract the needed tools of the past. And but we don't let us drag us back, and we use it to teach others. And how we keep our power strong, and how we keep ourselves powerful. My son, King Arron, and King Ethan, Elijah, my queen daughter, Andrea, and my queen daughter, Naya, know yourself. And you will be able to know everything else and everybody else. And you will conquer any challenge that come your way. And when a storm comes, when you speak, you blow it away. And this comes from studying, staying focused, and sticking to what's important. And anything that keeps your psyche strong and keeps you healthy and keep you living right, connect to that. And if entities, things, treat life like a noun, person, place, or thing. If it's negative, block it at will. Let nothing stop your growth, because everywhere you go, there you are. Let no one ever put self-doubt into you that you didn't put in yourself. Let nothing trickle into your system that is not good. Remember, to my young youth, my soldiers and soldierettes, salute, brothers and sisters that's listening. to my son, my rest of my children, to my son, King Arron. Stress is the root of all sickness, so don't let none of it seep into your system. And be aware, play out scenarios in everything that you go into. That's something I always say because it's very important. Always analyze and look at every angle of every situation, whether it's negative or positive, and you will conquer anything you need to conquer. You're going to be good, my children, my daughters, my sons, King Arron. You're going to be great. What you're doing now is just the tip of the iceberg. You have yet more to come. And we both, and my children, all of us, my brothers and sisters, we will share each other's successes. Because I want nothing but the best for the North, South, East, and the West. Much love. And I call down protection once again, one more time, for ourselves, from ourselves. Because, unfortunately, we can be our own worst enemy. So always keep check on that inner voice to keep yourself whole and centered. And to my son, King Arron, and my daughters, and my other sons, to the brothers and sisters, may you have peace. To my family, to the mothers of my children, to the mothers and the dads out there, may you have peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. And I love you, King Arron, and I'm so very proud of you. And I'm proud of my daughters and my other sons too. And any youth that stands strong out there. We adults and parents out there of a good heart, we love you. And we know you're going to do great things. And so is the brothers and sisters that take the time to listen. I thank you and I feel your spirit. Much love from EBX1.